Imagine being so feared that the two greatest empires on earth, powers that had been tearing each other apart for 700 years, look at one another and say, if we don't destroy him together, he'll destroy us both. So they assembled the largest army in human history. According to the chronicles, 150,000 soldiers, the full strength of Rome and Persia, united for the very first time. Their target, one Muslim commander, 30,000 men. His name was Khalid ibn al-Walid, and he had never lost a battle. The year is 634 CE January, and the Persian Empire is collapsing. In just 1 year, Khalid ibn al-Walid has achieved the unthinkable. He's taken Iraq, the ancient core of Persia, city after city, battle after battle, and he hasn't been defeated once. The Battle of Chains, victory; the Battle of River, victory; the Battle of Allies, a nightmare. Khalid had sworn an oath to Allah to make the river run with blood. And he fulfilled that oath. Thousands of Persian prisoners executed by the canal. The water flowed red for days. The Battle of Walaja. Another slaughter. Khalid had trapped an entire Persian army in a pincer movement and wiped them out to the last man. The Persian Emperor Yazdijerd III sits in his palace at Ctesiphon reading reports with shaking hands. His generals are gone. His armies are broken. And Khalid isn't stopping. He's moving north toward the Byzantine border. And then something happened, music, that had never happened before. Not in 700 years of Roman-Persian wars. Not once. A messenger arrived in Ctesiphon from Constantinople carrying a letter sealed with the Byzantine imperial seal. The Persian court was stunned. A Roman messenger here. Have they come to humiliate us? But when they opened the letter, it wasn't mockery. It was fear. The letter said to the Emperor of Persia, "We have been enemies since before our grandfathers lived. Our empires have spent 700 years trying to destroy each other. But today, I write, not as your enemy, but as a man who sees what is coming. The Arabs have crushed your armies in Iraq, and now they are moving toward Syria, toward my lands. If we allow him to finish with you, then come for me, we both fall. But if we stop him now together at the border, we might survive." The Persian emperor read that letter 3 times. Finally, Yazdijerd looked up and said, "Send word to Heraclius. Tell him I agree." For the first time in history, Rome and Persia became allies. Not because they wished to, not because they trusted one another, but because they had found something they feared more than each other. A man named Khalid ibn al-Walid. But the alliance didn't end there. Both empires sent messengers to the Arab Christian tribes of the region, the Ghassanids, who had served as Rome's shield against the desert for centuries. The Taghlib, fierce warriors who had fought beside the Persians. These were Arab tribes. They knew the desert. They understood how Muslims fought. The Byzantine messenger told the Ghassanid king, "Your kin have turned against you. They follow a new religion. They are coming to take your lands, your wealth, your way of life. Join us. Fight with Rome or be swept away like the Persians." The Persian messenger told the Taghlib chiefs the same thing. "These Muslims claim to be your brothers, but they have crushed every Arab tribe that refused to join them. Help us stop Khalid at the border or you will be next." And the Arab Christian tribes agreed because they saw what had happened in Iraq. Music, so the Ghassanids brought 20,000 men. The Taghlib brought another 15,000 experienced desert fighters, men who spoke the same language as Khalid's soldiers. This was no longer just Rome and Persia. This was 3 empires and 2 of the most powerful Arab tribes all united against one man. The location they chose was called Firaz, a dusty plain near the Euphrates River. 170,000 soldiers, the largest combined army ever gathered. Romans who spoke Latin, Persians who spoke Middle Persian, Arabs who spoke Arabic. All of them united by one thing: fear. The Allied commanders positioned their massive force on the western bank of the Euphrates. The Allies felt confident. They had the numbers. They had the river as a barrier. Khalid ibn al-Walid stood on the eastern bank looking across the water. A boat appeared from the western side. A Roman messenger stepped onto the shore. He stood before Khalid and delivered the challenge. Commander of the Arabs, the generals of Rome, Persia, and the Christian tribes ask you this. Will you cross the river to fight us? Or shall we cross to you? Khalid's commanders whispered urgently. General, tell them to cross. If they cross to us, we can strike them while they are on the bridge. But Khalid slowly shook his head. No, not while they are crossing. Khalid turned to the Roman messenger and smiled, that cold, calculated smile. Tell your masters they may cross. Khalid's commanders were shocked. General, you are allowing 170,000 men to cross into our land without resistance. Khalid pointed at the river. Right now, the river protects them. It is their shield. But if we let them all cross, every single one of them, and they line up on this side, then the river will be behind them. They will have nowhere to run except into the water. Across the river, the Byzantine general laughed. The Arab is a fool. He is giving us the battlefield. They gave the order. We cross. The sun was high in the sky. 170,000 men stood ready. Khalid drew his sword and gave one word. Attack. The Muslim army did not hesitate. They charged. But Khalid did not strike the Romans. He did not strike the Persians. He struck the center where the Arab Christian cavalry stood. Khalid broke the Arab Christians first. He drove straight into the gap between the Roman and Persian armies. The Romans tried to move left to support the Arabs, but they collided with the Persian lines. The Persians tried to shift right, but the Romans blocked them. Officers shouted commands in 3 different languages, Latin, Persian, Arabic, but no one knew who was in control. And Khalid kept pushing forward, forcing all 3 armies backward. And then they felt it. Their heels hit mud. Cold water splashed against their boots. The river. Retreat, someone shouted. Back across the bridge. But the bridge was narrow, built for supply wagons, not for 170,000 terrified men. And then, under the weight of thousands of armored soldiers, the bridge broke. Snap. Thousands of men in heavy armor plunged into the deep, fast-flowing Euphrates. They sank instantly like stones. The Euphrates became clogged with bodies, not running red, but blocked. Corpses in armor piled at the bottom. By sunset, it was over. 170,000 soldiers had crossed the Euphrates that morning. Less than 40,000 made it back. A Byzantine survivor returned to Antioch. The local Roman general asked him, what happened at Firaz? The soldier finally whispered, he let us cross. We thought he was afraid. But the river, it was our cage. He didn't just defeat us, he drowned us like rats. In Ctesiphon, the Persian emperor walked into his map room. He took a piece of charcoal and drew a line across Persia. Everything west of this line is lost, he said. If 170,000 men cannot stop him, nothing can. Within weeks, many of the surviving Arab Christian tribes made a choice. They realized the old empires were dying and the future belonged to the Muslims. Khalid ibn al-Walid stood on the banks of the Euphrates watching the sunset. One of his commanders asked, General, why did you break the Arabs?